that 14th Amendment? No state shall enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of the citizens of the United States. Nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. Now, the individuals that are representatives and shall be a portion, excluding Indians not taxed, yes, being 21, except for participation in rebellion, or rebellion, anyway, abridged except for, or any or other crime, the basis shall be reduced, yes. And then no person shall be a senator or representative in Congress. President, vice president, hold any office, civil or military, under the United States, or any state who having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress, an officer of the United States or member of the state legislature, executive or judicial officer of any state to support the Constitution shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same. Now, I know there are a lot of attorneys that say, well, this is not insurrection. No, this is not rebellion. But that definition of misprison, yes. And the obligation for me to notify, yes. Any judge or justice, any military or civilian authority, see, civil or military, yeah. Now, there are probably a lot of generals and admirals that thought, well, we have to support the rebellion and insurrection against the oath of office, right, of every state legislature, of those in the House of Representatives and the Senate, yeah. But they put this civil or military, yeah. It's very similar wording to the misprisioning of treason, yeah. See, I did what I did, yes, because of what the law says. And you did what you did because of what the law says. Now, anytime the law says that I have the right to sue you, and you said, well, he does, but we're going to deny him that right, because we are going to misprison treason, yes, felony, kidnapping, child abuse, child neglect, right now. Because we just do not have to enforce the obligations of the laws. Yes. I wanted to remind the United States military that when it says military or civil, yes, and for all of you that decided, well, we just can't arrest the sheriffs. Generals and admirals that have been vetted in Congress, yes, had received congressional approval to receive those stars. Now, if I look through all the 1 to 4 stars for the last 50 years, that do know that they had previously taken an oath, as a civil or military, to hold an office, known as the commander of any military base of the. See, you're really not giving the military much of a choice here. Yes. I would have said that the Army had an obligation to arrest you a long time ago for military crimes, war crimes. And you said, no, they don't have the right to do that. But I said, well, actually they do. And you said, no. And I said, yeah, they do. Because I can put generals and admirals in prison, civil or military, yes, for having sworn an oath that they would support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Now, I know you're in the military, and you're receiving orders from an oath of office that was vetted in Congress, that has 1 to 4 star military authority. Yeah. that refuses to acknowledge the obligations of the enforcement, yeah, the support of, the defense of amendments in the Constitution. A lot of generals and admirals only think it's the articles that they need to be concerned about. But I thought for sure that they were going to go to prison for having any knowledge of this. Now they say they're not. Phew. Now, I declare under the penalty of perjury or under the laws of the state of Washington that the facts I have provided on this form are true. Yes. Known as the petitioner? Yes. Signed in Port Angeles, Washington? Yeah. Approximately February 11th of 2013. Oh. Sign here, mandatory form. 131 RCW 26.18.2201. Yeah. Print your name. Now, the financial declaration of my wife, yes, was it significantly different than what I responded to in the petition? Um, Generals and admirals? Yes. You actually can go to prison. So, and as much as you don't want to admit this, yeah. Anytime it requires the vetting of the United States Congress, yes. See, this is a forgery. Yeah. And more than likely, Heidi Lee Budner's signature is on quite a few forgeries. This is the Full Faith and Credit Act. Oh. This is Susan Bowers. That is not Marilyn Van Proyen. Oh. This is the matter became forth. This is the stipulation and order from the U.S. territory of Guam. Yeah. And then this is the res judicata. Yes. That the final and conclusive dissolution of marriage has to be enforced in Germany. And the German nation is saying, Paul, you don't have the legal right to sue us. Why don't you get me those treaties, agreements, and conventions? Now, I actually can sue Germany. Yes. See, they're going to buy what I have to sell. Yes. And you're going to make sure of that. Now, when meaningful access to judicial review is available to the poor as well as those that who can afford it? Yeah. How did my wife get meaningful access to child support services when I responded to the petition for dissolution of marriage? And child support services didn't feel a compulsion to make sure that I was served notice of opportunity, yeah, before a fair and impartial judiciary, during a settlement conference setting hearing, yeah, that wasn't on the public court record, right? I mean, this idea of the Supreme Court rules being violated. See, I'm actually wanting to put you in prison. And if need be, yes, I will put in prison every general and admiral of the United States. Now, you said I didn't have the, well, I don't have the authority to do that. I think I do. See, they decided to be accessories after the fact of felony, fraud, forgery, kidnapping, child neglect and child abuse, child abduction, yes. And then when being vetted in Congress, they thought they'd say, I have no idea what you're talking about.